We are honored to be standing here tonight because your dreams are just getting started too. You see the future of this company. You share your ideas and thoughts with us. You are at one pinnacle, and I know you well enough to know that you're on a climb, my friend, and that we've reached one level, and you're in the mood and on the run for another one. Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman's Club member Stephan Gratziani.
You know, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't found Herbalife, or Herbalife hadn't found me, one of the two. Growing up as a teenager in Oregon, you know, I was really more interested in sports than my studies, actually. I loved to play soccer, and when I was 14 years old is when I bought my first bike. And I eventually got into racing, and it really became the primary focus of my life. Too much of a focus because my studies kind of went downhill and didn't do so great. I ended up failing my 12th grade and going back and graduating 1 year later. Basically, I was really shooting for the 1988 Olympics. That was kind of my goal and my dreams. And when I missed qualifying for the Olympic team, and that was kind of a big downer for myself, I decided that I was going to go to Europe. I packed up a bag, a bicycle, and I headed to France. I kind of fell in love with the French and the culture and being in Europe. And so I had this dream to go on and one day, you know, become a cycling star, win the Tour de France. You know, I raced, I won some races, but I was losing many more races than I was winning. And, you know, it came to the point where I had to make a decision if I was going to continue and be probably a mediocre cyclist, or the other choice was to stop cycling and then really try to look for some type of a job. And that's what I chose to do. And after a few months of looking, I was, you know, very lucky to find a ad in the newspaper that basically said, looking for dynamic people, call. I called, and there was a woman that had answered the phone and basically said, "Are you interested in the job?" And that's where I met Herbalife. When I used the products, I felt the difference. I felt more energetic, and I felt, you know, if I can feel this way, then what's the average person going to feel like using the products? Shortly after I started in the business, there was this opportunity to go see Mark Hughes at a leadership development weekend. You know, I didn't know what to expect, but I can remember going into this meeting and then, you know, just having this person that was just so charismatic and, you know, so loving and so just warm-hearted, and he just cared about everybody, and you know, he was very clear on what was going to happen to the company. And I think the thing that made it very special in the beginning is that we were all starting at the same time, especially for someone like myself that I didn't see any big future for myself. You know, to hear Mark's story and to see where he came from and you know, his vision for the future. I mean, it was you know, it was so attractive, and it was just, you know, I wanted to be around that. Everyone wanted to be around that.
Normally I don't get too nervous coming on stage, but things are a little bit different today. This is the first time I'm coming out as a Chairman's Club member, so I'm kind of the new one.
I don't think I ever could have gotten the education that I've had with Herbalife. And I think, you know, number one, being able to travel around the world and to learn from different cultures and different people, and, you know, all of the different trainings that we've had a chance to do, and all the different people we've had a chance to learn from. It's been amazing. I think that I've learned more from doing this business and grown personally more than I ever could have possibly imagined. We're so lucky, because to have Mark Hughes, who started the company, and, you know, who led the company for really the first 2 decades. And now having Michael Johnson, you know, whose integrity and whose vision and his outlook is taking the company to levels, you know, we never could have thought possible. You know, I specifically remember when Michael came into the company, you know, he said, "Listen, I'm not going to try to be Mark Hughes, but I am going to take that person's legacy and honor him and do everything that I can to make his dreams come true." And he has done that. You know, he is the embodiment of healthy, active lifestyle. He's the embodiment of you know, integrity and ethics, and I think that everything is better than it's ever been. You know, after Mark Hughes, who definitely had the biggest impact, and then Jim Rohn, you know, Alan Lorenz has to be probably the person that's, you know, had the biggest impact on, you know, who I've become and, you know, what I've done so far in Herbalife. And he's, you know, he's just a huge inspiration. And I think that there's probably been no one that's impacted, you know, at least the European region as much as Alan. So, you know, he's just been a huge part of my success. And I'll thank you forever, Alan. Thank you for everything that you've done for me and the difference that you've made. It's a wonderful time for me right now with everything that's happening in Herbalife and the success and being able to have the lifestyle and to support the family. And I was very lucky a couple of years ago to meet my wife. Quite honestly, has brought to my life something that, I never thought actually I would have, which, is really a certain stability, a certain understanding of what it is to be in a relationship and also an understanding of what it is to be a family. Today I live a lifestyle that I never could have thought possible. You have a chance to see more things that you could ever imagine possible. Recently, I was with my daughter in Washington, D.C., and she had a chance to walk out on the field with David Villa and FC Barcelona in front of 88,000 people. Where can kids have that experience? It's only with Herbalife. And you just remember that, I remember where I used to be and what life used to be like, and who could have ever possibly imagined that we'd be doing the things we're doing today and living the life we're living today. And I know that Mark, he's definitely looking down with a big smile on his face, and I'm very happy about everything that's going on.